Hi, in this video we'll be talking about the three types of osmotic solutions. But before we get started, let's talk about what osmosis is. Osmosis is the diffusion of water, or simply put, the movement of water across a semi-permeable membrane. Now let's get into talking about the three types of osmotic solutions. The three types of osmotic solutions are isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic. Let's start by talking about an isotonic solution. In brown, we have our cell, blue represents the water surrounding the cell, and black represents the solutes. In this case, let's say salt. In an isotonic solution, the amount of solute, or in our case salt, inside the cell is equal to the amount of solute found outside of the cell. And when we're thinking about these types of solutions, we want to be asking ourselves, where is the water going? Water goes where there's a greater amount of solute, or in our case, a greater amount of salt. A simple way to remember this is that salt sucks. So in an isotonic solution, because we have an equal amount of salt inside the cell and outside of the cell, you have water entering and leaving the cell at the same rate. So in this situation, we are at equilibrium. In a hypotonic solution, there is greater amounts of solute inside the cell than there is outside of the cell. And remember, salt sucks, so water is going to move where there's a greater amount of the solute. In this case, that is inside of the cell, and so water will move into the cell. And if the bacterial cell has a weak cell wall, it's not going to be able to resist this influx of water, and this will cause the implosion of the bacterial cell if its cell wall is too weak to resist. And we call this implosion of the bacterial cell osmotic lysis. In a hypertonic solution, there is a greater amount of solute outside of the cell than inside, and so water is going to move outside of the cell. And water leaving the cell causes the cytoplasm to shrink, and we call this shrinkage of the cytoplasm plasmolysis. Now, you may have noticed the prefixes in each of these words. With the isotonic solution, the prefix here is iso, which means equal, and that's referring to the equal amount of solute outside of the cell to the inside of the cell. Hypotonic refers to the lesser, hypo means below, the lesser amounts of solute outside of the cell compared to inside of the cell. And then hyper means above, refers to the greater concentration of solute outside of the cell compared to inside of the cell. And so when you're thinking about these scenarios, you want to think about the outside of the cell relative to the inside. I hope this video helps. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.